WWE is moving to Netflix. Plus, scrapped plans for a major AEW star, and WWE are interested in more New Japan talent. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. Da-dung. It's the noise it makes when you start it up, and you'll be starting it up a lot more in 2025. WWE is moving to Netflix. Jack, what is going on?
The news never stops. Yes, WWE and Netflix have both released a press release, which I'll just start reading from it. Beginning in January 2025, Netflix will be the exclusive new home of Raw in the US, Canada, UK, and Latin America, among other territories, with additional countries and regions to be added over time. Likewise, as part of the agreement, Netflix will also become the home for all WWE shows and specials outside the US, as available inclusive of Raw and WWE's other weekly shows, SmackDown and NXT, as well as the company's premium live events including WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Royal Rumble. This marks a major programming shift as Raw leaves linear television for the first time since its inception 31 years ago.
This deal is transformative, says Mark Shapiro, the TKO president and COO. It marries the can't miss WWE product with Netflix extraordinary global reach and locks in significant and predictable economics for many years. Our partnership fundamentally alters and strengthens in the media landscape, dramatically expands the reach of WWE, and brings weekly live appointment viewing to Netflix.
They go on to say, we are excited to have WWE Raw with its huge and passionate multi-generational fan base on Netflix. That's a quote from Netflix Chief Content Officer Bella Bajaria. By combining our reach, recommendations, and fandom with WWE, we'll be able to deliver more joy and value for the audiences and our members. Raw is the best of sports entertainment, blending great characters and storytelling with live action 52 weeks a year, and we're thrilled to be in this long-term partnership with WWE.
Nick Khan says, in its relatively short history, Netflix has engineered a phenomenal track record for storytelling. We believe Netflix, as one of the world's leading entertainment brands, is the ideal long-term home for Raw's live, loyal, and ever-growing fan base.
So in the US, they've got Raw, that's the Raw TV deal. Mm-hmm. And in many other, that's also the same for many other territories as well. But internationally, we get Raw, SmackDown, NXT, premium live events, and many other things as well, documentaries. As Aidan said upstairs, what does this mean for the WWE network?
I feel as if this might potentially sound a bit of a death knell for the network. It sounds quite dramatic, but I don't see WWE maintaining a second streaming platform whilst they're on Netflix.
Yeah.
At the same time, I can't see Netflix being bunged up with episodes of Monday Night Raw from 1996.
Where's the archive going to go?
Which you can, by the way, watch week to week with myself and Jack Atkins on the Cultaholic Classic Raw review. We were meant to record an episode of that today, but with The Rock joining the board and WWE going to Netflix, we've had to pause that.
It's been a big day.
Apologies to Jack Atkins. I hope you're enjoying your eggs. It's been a lot of news today, and this one is again landscape changing.
It was highlighted by one of our colleagues here, Lewis, the line in the press statement.
A major programming shift.
Yes, as Raw leaves linear television for the first time since its inception 31 years ago. And then he said after he'd put that quote in our work chat, he put, the end of the ratings discourse. It'll be the end of it. No, that's good.
No, what will all those boring people on Twitter talk about now? But if we can't compare notes on ratings.
But it's not just that about the conversation online, but I guess this changes everything, how we look at WWE in relation to competition, how we look at it in terms of its success. It'll be maybe harder to quantify or different to understand, I suppose, at least at first.
But I don't think you'll really be able to. And I imagine that there'll be they'll publish figures of how many things are downloaded and streaming and streams per episode and stuff. So you'll measure it on that if you really want to.
I guess in terms of our jobs, watching the product and sort of analysing it and stuff, I guess the interesting thing to see come 2025 will be, how will this change the on-screen product? Given, will it bring a younger demographic to WWE or a more international demographic? And will those changes be reflected on screen with the choices of who they push and what they do in storylines and stuff? It's a very intriguing time.
And this is a rolling news story. We will keep you up to date at cultaholic.com throughout the day on this one. Let's talk about AEW for a bit. Kenny Omega, obviously away for an extended amount of time due to diverticulitis, but there were some interesting plans in the pipeline, weren't there, Jack?
Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio says the original idea was that Kenny Omega, basically he's going to say he was going to undergo a second heel turn in AEW. He said the original idea was that Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita were going to be a tag team, and that Don Callis and Kenny Omega were going to turn on Takeshita with the idea that Takeshita is this young babyface, and the idea is to make him a top babyface. Obviously none of that happened because they didn't do anything forever. That's Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio there, but obviously we saw the opposite kind of happen with Takeshita becoming the heel, Kenny staying babyface. And I'm not certain whether that would have been better or not, because Takeshita's, I think he's been a really good heel. I just think they've started to underuse him recently. So it's a strange one. But I think in terms of his size, his intimidation in the ring and his moveset and everything, I think he's a really good heel.
Oh, I think he's excellent as a heel. I really, really do. And I don't know where, I think it's helped the fact that he and Omega and Takeshita have been at loggerheads. I think that's helped him cemented as a heel.
And he's got big wins over Kenny Omega as well.
Exactly, yeah. I think that's helped him to become that. Brian Alvarez also gave a really positive update on Kenny Omega. We heard on Friday that Kenny's absence was going to be a lot longer than even we thought, because it was going to be a 7-week wait before he was in a position to even consider having surgery to treat his diverticulitis. And then after that, it's the recovery and the journey from that. So it could be a year or even possibly more. But Brian Alvarez did give a positive sounding update on the condition of Kenny Omega, saying whilst he does need surgery, things are looking up. So
he may still need surgery.
He may still need surgery. Sorry, things are looking up though. He's certainly on a road to recovery, and we hope it's a lot as long a recovery as it needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think anybody would want Kenny to risk his long-term health by rushing back or anything like that. So hopefully he just takes all the time he needs.
Back to WWE, where they've obviously been intrigued by talent from New Japan recently. In particular, there was conversations about maybe Will Ospreay coming in, and conversations about Okada that are apparently still ongoing. Who else, according to Dave Meltzer, are they interested in, Jack?
Tama Tonga, my boy. Tama Tonga, formerly of the Bullet Club, now a babyface boy in New Japan, and the recent new never openweight champion, because he won at Wrestle Kingdom in a surprising victory over Shingo Takagi. Surprising because Tama Tonga has been quite open about the fact that he wants to leave soon and move back to the United States. Now, apparently, again, according to Meltzer, WWE has a consistently maintained interest in Tama Tonga since last year, when there were reported discussions about possibly bringing him in when his previous New Japan contract expired. Tama Tonga instead signed a new deal, which is now expiring, and he's saying, "Yeah, I want to leave." And I guess WWE here are still reportedly interested in him.
Whilst he is your boy, I feel like Tama Tonga would be a good WWE boy.
Yes.
And someone that's kind of been on the periphery of that conversation for a long time.
He has, yeah. I think that mainly because I suppose he was one of the more consistent foreign names in New Japan, or certainly one of the more, he was there for quite a long time actually, but has always, I guess, been somebody full of charisma, very agile in the ring and everything, but not so wrestling in the New Japan style that he couldn't be a superstar instead. I think he's got quite a TV-friendly wrestling style as well.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, obviously he's sticking around, but who knows what the future might bring for someone like Tama Tonga. We said it'd be a week full of surprises and intrigue. It's Royal Rumble week. We didn't expect it to be the way that it has. What a morning, what a day it has been for news. The Rock joining the TKO board of directors, and the announcement that WWE is moving Raw and a whole bunch of other stuff to Netflix.
Could we see Tama Tonga on the front page of Netflix in 2025?
Tama Tonga in the new series of The Crown. Oh, the crossover potential. The crossover potential excites me somewhat. We'll have more on these big stories throughout the day. We might even be back again at cultaholic.com. Who knows?
There's been Stranger Things. That's a Netflix series.
He's done him!
Come on.
It looks as if you're still watching Cultaholic Wrestling News.